I've helped over 20,000 bookkeepers start and grow their businesses. I've interviewed dozens of CPAs and other tax preparers, and I've seen the same mistakes pop up time and time again. The good news? They're avoidable. And in this video, I'm going to show you how. If you're a bookkeeper or you're thinking about jumping into the career in 2025, these mistakes could be costing you clients and slowing down your success. But here's the thing. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 mistakes that bookkeepers make and how to avoid them. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to watch out for and how to prevent these costly errors from holding you back. Let's get into it. Number 1 is reconciling. Failure to reconcile. Now, when I interviewed CPA Andrew Averett, I was shocked. In fact, if you watch the video, you'll see me nearly fall out of my chair when I learned how many bookkeepers are not reconciling accounts. This is such a basic thing. You need to be reconciling every month bank accounts, credit card accounts, loans, liability accounts. Almost everything that you see on the balance sheet needs to be reconciled. What I heard from the accountants, from Andrew, as well as other accountants on our tax advisory council, is if they open up a set of books and the things are not reconciled, they don't trust it. And if they don't trust it, they don't trust you. They're never going to give you referrals if they don't trust your work, if they don't like what they see, if you're not doing things correctly. So reconcile, reconcile, reconcile. I just am shocked at how many people are not doing this. All right, number 2 is relying on rules. Now, if you're using QuickBooks Online, then the bank rules are great. They're a huge time saver, but so many people set them up incorrectly, especially if you click that little button that says auto add. If you auto add them, then you never see them. You never have a chance to check to make sure that they were done correctly. And time after time, I have talked to so many CPAs and EAs who say that they open up a set of books, everything's wrong, they dig into it and discover why, and the reason is those darn rules. So if you're going to use QuickBooks Online bank rules, make sure that you set them up correctly. Don't click that little auto add button until you know for sure that that is working the way that you want it to work. And then and only then, maybe even never, click that auto add button. All right, number 3, ignoring accounts receivable and accounts payable. This is a report. We're used to running the profit and loss and the balance sheet every month. We're used to maybe even the statement of cash flows can be super helpful for the business owners, but so many people ignore the aging reports. You want to go in and check those aging reports, accounts payable, accounts receivable, to make sure everything has been matched up correctly. That's the thing. You want to make sure that the payments that have been received have been applied to the invoices, that the payments that were sent out were applied to the bills, because if they're not matched up, it will look like customers still owe you money or you still owe vendors money. So you want to make sure that you check that every month to make sure that everything is lined up correctly and matched correctly. Number 4, not checking unusual balances. This is another thing that Andrew in particular mentioned, but several other of the CPAs that I have interviewed have said that when they go into the books and they see a balance on the balance sheet that is like a negative balance that's not supposed to be there, or they go into the profit and loss and they see 1 month there's suddenly $10,000 higher expense than normal, then it drives them crazy. As a bookkeeper, you need to be checking your work before you pass it on to the next person, before you give it to the business owner, before you hand it over to the accountant or the CPA, the tax preparer. You want to make sure that you don't see any unusual balances there. One of the CPAs that I interviewed said that they had a situation where money came in, bookkeeper didn't know where the money came from and just assumed that it was an owner's contribution. And so that's the way that she categorized it. But it turned out upon further digging that this was actually a loan. So they had to pay back the loan. There was principal and interest and all of these things that they had to record. So make sure that you are checking those unusual balances and keeping an eye on those. It could be as simple as a typo. Sometimes you add an extra 0 to something or add a decimal point where it shouldn't be, and then that just messes up the book books entirely. Okay, so make sure you are checking those unusual balances. Now, those first four were all about the actual bookkeeping. Let's now talk about your bookkeeping business. So number 5 is scope creep. You want to make sure that you know what you're getting into when you sign up for a client, and you're going to check, guess what? Those things we just talked about. You're going to check to see whether the accounts have been reconciled. You're going to check that the rules are set up correctly and that things aren't being miscategorized without you even knowing about it. You want to make sure that the accounts payable and accounts receivable are matched up, that there aren't any long outstanding balances. You want to make sure that the reports don't have any unusual things in them, that there aren't negative balances on the balance sheet where there aren't supposed to be there, that everything is regular. And you want to make sure to do this before you sign the client, because what would happen is if you don't check these things and charge for them, you have to charge for that cleanup before you actually get into it. Then once you sign the contract, you're going to find that you are spending all of this time cleaning up the previous bookkeeper's work, or if it was just the business owner doing the work, then you have to clean up that. And if you don't know what you're getting into, then you're going to way undercharge for your services. So make sure that you check all of those things. Mistake number 6, never charge hourly. Charging hourly motivates people to work slowly. You are penalized if you are fast and efficient. So if you have one client and you spend a ton of time on their books, you get paid more for them. If you have one client where you figured out quick, fast, easy, efficient ways to work, then you would get paid less for them. Don't do that. You want to make sure that you charge for your value, charge for the work, not for the hours that you are putting in. All right. And then the final mistake. Oh my gosh, guys, this is so huge. Every single day, I hear people say, how do I get a client? How do I get a client? How do I get a client? I'm struggling to find clients. Here's how you find a client. You tell people that you are a bookkeeper. There is such a huge need for bookkeepers in this country. There is way more work than we have bookkeepers to fill them. The reason that you're not getting work is because you are not telling people. How many realtors do you know? And how do you know that they're realtors? Is because they constantly tell you that they are realtors. You have to constantly be telling people that you are a bookkeeper. And I don't mean just once a month or, maybe casually mention it at a dinner party. I mean make a conscious effort to continually say you are a bookkeeper. Even better, if you are a certified QuickBooks Online ProAdvisor, I love to hear people say, I'm a QuickBooks Online ProAdvisor. If you say that you're a bookkeeper, most people will only reach out to you when they need a bookkeeper. But if you say that you are a QuickBooks Online ProAdvisor, then people may reach out to you just because they need help with QuickBooks Online. And then you can develop relationships and you can talk to those people. And eventually, when they do need a bookkeeper, they will like you, they'll trust you, they'll respect you, and they will hire you. So mistake number 7 is not telling people that you are a bookkeeper. So those are the 7 mistakes to avoid. If you would like our help with any of these, we would love to help you. There's links down below to contact us, get information, all of that. And I can't wait to hear your success story.